Hello there everybody, welcome back to another MapleStory video. In this video we're going to be talking about, well, I don't really know how I want to pose this, but I do want to kind of talk about like my immediate plans going forward, I guess. Change channel. I'm going to be doing dailies in the background while I yap. I don't know if I want to call it like a monthly progress update or whatever, but I definitely have some stuff that I want to talk about. Because as of me recording this, I'm going to be recording this on the day that I upload it, so this is going to be, I almost said Christmas Eve. It's the day after Christmas, 26th. I sound a lot better too, by the way, so I'm very excited about that. I still can't fully hear properly, but I can sort of hear myself speak now, which is really good, and also my voice doesn't sound like I'm basically 1 second away from passing away every time I try to say a word, which is really good for both me and you. But that isn't why we're here. A lot of the people who enjoy watching me, you definitely got to enjoy watching the rants and rambles into fucking nothingness, basically, because goddamn do I do a good job of that. But basically, Shining Star Force is going to be coming up very, very soon. This next Sunday, to be precisely, and I don't really have a lot to do for Shining Star Force on my Nightwalker, and what I mean by that is I just don't really have a lot of dupes. I pretty much ran down all of my dupes last Shining Star Force. You can kind of see my inventory. I have a bunch of kind of treasure rings, dominators, I have Estelas, I have slime rings, I have a couple daybreaks, and I have some arcane dupes, a couple, 2 shoulders, and 5 gloves. And the reason why I have so many is just because when I open an armor box, I pick a dupe that I want to push eventually. And all of my arcanes are 21 star. But I also understand how annoying star forcing arcanes are, which is why I don't know if I'm gonna try pushing my arcanes on Shining Star Force. Maybe I'll try pushing the gloves because I have 5 dupes. But something that you have to understand when it comes to Star Forcing gear, specifically for a character that I give a shit about, like my Nightwalker. Like, technically, will it matter if I lose 4 stars on my arcane gear? Probably not. But by that same merit, it also wouldn't really matter if I gained a star, right? But ultimately, what it comes down to is I don't like losing stars. I don't like going into an event and getting weaker at the end of it. So I try to save up enough things to where it's mathematically in my favor to improve. Because like I said, again, you have to know your own limits for you. And for me, I would like to take a safe upgrade or a guaranteed upgrade over something that isn't that, you know what I mean? Just because that's kind of how I enjoy playing games, and how I enjoy, I don't know, like, gearing, which is like the same philosophy around like my pitched items. I know a lot of people dislike that, but like, shit. Like, the only reason I have a 22 star Berserk, for example, is because I just YOLO'd it to 22 because my eye patch boomed. If my eye patch went to 21, I would have kept the Berserk to 21 and used the 21 eye patch to end Berserk. And I know a lot of people dislike that kind of gameplay. But at the end of the day, a 21 star pitch set is better than a 22 star alternative. And if I ever get to the point to where I'm seriously considering 23 star items, I'm too far gone at that point, right? And I don't think 23 star items are realistic on anything that isn't like, I guess CRA you could realistically 23 star. I know a lot of people will say you can realistically 23 star like Kana's Treasure, slime rings, and all that shit too. But I disagree. It's something like, I want to say it's like 40-something dupes on average, and I might just be misremembering that. It might be more than that. It might be like 50 or 60 dupes on average to get to 23 stars. And that's average, right? You have to go average. It's very reasonable that you won't go average. It's very reasonable that you'll go above average. And saying Oh yeah, it's really easy to say, but 50 dupes of, like, Akana's Treasure or Slime Ring is fucking kind of wild to me. Because it's not. That's like a year's worth of drops, assuming you get one every single time, which I promise you is not the case if you look at my inventory. That being said, that's sort of my philosophy behind star forcing and why I say I don't really have a lot to star force on my Nightwalker. And I think a lot of my star forcing is going to be focused primarily on my mules. And I guess I could go log on my mules right now and kind of go over the things that I have for them. Because I have been trying to prep their Abso gear. Well, not prep their Abso gear, but like prep their Abso gear in the sense of getting them Abso gear. And the good thing about that is a lot of the gear that you can Star Force transfer to Absolab, you can get in large quantities. Stuff like the Root Abyss and Magnus shop boots and gloves, those transfer over to Absolab. You have the pink bean belts, you have the shit, it's not pink bean belt. That belt is for Superior, but it's the same idea. It's the Japanese shoulder. That's another thing that I've been doing on those characters. I've been running Ranmaru for the chance at the Japanese shoulder, and also just like other Japanese placeholder gear like the belt and the weapon. Though the weapon doesn't really matter because you can just transfer CRA. But you get the idea, right? I'm going to try to 21 star the 150 placeholders, and then I'm going to transfer hammer it into Abso Lab, and then it'll be 20 star Abso. And then I'll likely just keep it at 20 star Abso for a while, because these characters I'm going to be getting the Abso Lab stuff on, I don't have multiple copies of these items for, which is why I'm only going to take them, or I'm going to leave them at 20 stars, right? Because 21 stars is like mathematically pretty safe to go for. Like 20 to 21, and I think 17 to 18, if I'm not mistaken, are mathematically the two safest stars to go for, aside from the ones that you literally can't boom, because you can't fail past those points. Like, you can't fail past 17 with booms, right? You can safeguard up to 17. So obviously 17 to 18 is like one of the safest stars you can go for, and then 20 to 21 is obviously one of the safest stars you can go for. There's math behind it. People who are much smarter than me have done the math. I just follow the math that people have done. And obviously following math can only get you so far, but that's sort of my thought process and like mindset behind it. As far as everything else goes, realistically speaking, I'm only going to have the gear for my Thunderbreaker and my Dawn Warrior. Those are the only two characters that I've like really prepped, and these are the two characters that I've been running Golix on every day. Well, Helix. I haven't really touched anything else because I got sick for like the last week and a half, and I really haven't done anything else until, or not until, but I haven't really done anything else since then. I've just been kind of keeping the status quo because I really haven't felt too good while I was sick. I felt really bad. If that didn't come across in the other videos where I tried to speak while I was sick, yeah, it was bad, man. And like I said, I'm still not 100% right now, but I can hear myself speak at least a little bit, which is really good, and that's a big improvement over being unable to hear myself, period. I guess I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but I know I posted a couple comments to some people. It turns out that I had a sinus infection, so that was really fun. And by that I mean it was really unfun, and I would not recommend a sinus infection. Especially not right before the fucking 1,000 holidays. But it's not like it was my choice. So that's the plan, right? I'm gonna primarily be focusing on Star Forcing my Thunderbreaker and Dawn Warrior. I'm going to push their CRA up to 21, for sure. I'm gonna swap over to Abso 20 star, ideally. I'm going to star force the transfer hammer gear to 21 rather than 22, because I think the amount of dupes you need from 21 to 22 plus the amount of meso you need is way too much that I don't want to spend right now for a mule. And the reason why I'm okay with keeping the Absols at 20 star is because if I'm not mistaken, a 20 star Absolab piece is like equivalent to like a 16 or 17 star Arcane piece. And these are characters that I would like to eventually get eventually get Arcanes on. But I also understand how hard it will be to star Arcanes past 17 star anyways on these characters. Because these are not characters that I'm going to be having, like, the same sort of, like, boss progression that I have on my Nightwalker. And I'm also not going to have as much drop rate on them, so I already don't get a lot of Arcane dupes, as you can see, on my Nightwalker. So I'm going to be getting even less Arcane dupes on them. So it's like a really long-term project, for sure. But it's sort of how I'm tackling things. And it's like, I've been wanting to do this to these characters anyways, to like have more characters to play, like at a higher gear level anyways. And the whole like Champion Legion stuff kind of gives me a good excuse to do it now, like mentally, to be like, okay, well, you're gonna want these characters to be stronger anyways, so you might as well just invest now, so I don't feel bad about it at all. Not that I felt bad about it at all in the first place. But the thing that I really felt bad about was not having enough meso to invest in these characters, because I didn't have enough meso. Like, I don't know how else to say it, I just didn't have enough meso. All the meso I had kind of needed to go into my Nightwalker, but now the Nightwalker is like, it's not finished, for sure. My Nightwalker is not even close to being finished. But my Nightwalker is more now at a point where, like, his gear is good enough, right? Like, you can take any piece of gear, and it's like 27% all-stat equivalent, or 3-line, and it's for every single piece of gear, right? And every other single piece of gear is, like, pretty much as maximally starred as it can be, given the resources that I have. And I know you can buy Arcane gear for meso, basically. But I don't think that's the route that I want to take. Maybe eventually, when I have, like, other things that I want to focus on. Excuse me. It took me 12 minutes, and that was my first cough. You can tell I'm doing a lot better. It's really just the hearing that I wish would come back fully. But I'm hopeful in a few days that I'll get my hearing fully back. Fucking sinus infections, man. Anyways, I'm just kind of fucking rambling. I mean, this whole video is a goddamn ramble, so if you got this far and you were expecting some sort of cohesive, like, this is what I'm gonna be doing, and you got this far in the video, and you're like, brother, where's the cohesion? I don't know what to tell you, man. If you didn't figure out there was gonna be no cohesion by now, I don't know what to tell you. Something that I will do before I end the video, though, since we're done with dailies. It only took me 13 minutes to do dailies. Not bad, not bad. Especially since I'm just yapping like a dumbass. But, I will go log on my other characters and show you what dupes I do have. Alright, so first up is the Thunderbreaker. The inventory is a fucking mess. Please ignore the inventory. But you can see I have some Zakum capes for the transfer to Abso. I have Golden Clover belts, because I am going to try to Star Force these for sup belts. I have some superior earrings on this character. I also have a pap mark on this character, which I will probably try to, like, 22 star just for fun. Maybe I'll use it if I keep it at... Yeah, I'll probably keep it at 21 if it hits it. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens when the Star Forcing happens, but you can see Let me see if I can sort by type, make it easier on you guys and me. Oh, this character also is a Cursed Kaisarium, which is funny. Don't tell. Has a couple KT dupes, some Japanese belts, Japanese gloves, Japanese cape. You can kind of see what I mean, though. I've been trying to get dupes on these characters. It's not something that I've been doing for long, so it's kind of scuffed, but it's better than nothing, you know what I mean? And this character already has Abso gloves and boots equipped, and a fake Abso weapon equipped, but these are real. I just found armor boxes and I've equipped them. But that's sort of the plan for this character, and this is kind of the dupes that this character has going into it. It's not a lot, but I'm hopeful I can hit some 21s. And this is another reason why I'm not going for 22s, I'm going for 21s. Because I just don't have the resources. Gloves and boots I can for sure do, because you can buy infinite of the fodder items. The capes are just reliant on the Japanese cape and the Zat cape, which I don't have very many of. The CRA gear, obviously, I can get to 21 stars super easy. The weapon you can transfer from Fafnir, so I can just make a bunch of Fafnir weapons and get a transfer from 20 or from 21 to 20. The belts I can prep for 21. Same with the earrings. If I have reinforced, I only have one reinforced. That's a solid, yeah. This character only has one Dominator. It doesn't have multiple Dominators. So the Dominator will probably stay at 17. Try to get the KT to 21 since I have a couple dupes. But you can see, like I said, this character is, these characters aren't super ready. But I'll go take a look at the Dawn Warrior now. Alright, now it's the Dawn Warrior's turn. It's much of the same here as well. But this guy did get an Abso weapon box, so he has an Abso weapon chilling in the inventory. And it's much of the same story here. I'm keeping reinforced earrings, I'm keeping reinforced belts if I have any. Golden Clover belts. I guess I have a Zac belt, but the Zac belt isn't useful because it's 150. You have some of the Japanese shoulders. It's the same idea, right? Kana treasure dupes. No Dominator pendant dupes on this guy either. He doesn't even have a Dominator pendant, so it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It doesn't have a pat mark on this guy either. Couple Zac capes. These are the antique root boots and gloves that you can buy from RA and Mag Shop. And this is the fodder gear that I'm going to be getting to 20 or 21 to transfer to 20 on the Abso gear. Does this guy have any Abso gear aside from the weapon? I don't think he does. Right? He definitely doesn't. No, I don't think he does. Yeah, I think my Thunderbreaker is the guy that has gotten all the boxes. And this guy only got the weapon box. But I have been doing Scrapyard and Dark World Tree. You can see here I have 120 of each core. So I'll be able to buy some gear. I'll be able to buy enough for like one set. Oh, I do have an armor box here. I just haven't used it. I guess let me take care of that before I forget. Just get a boot. Cool. Now we have a boot and a weapon. I do have I've been running Hard Lotus, Hard Damien on my Wild Hunter as well, but I barely have anything on the Wild Hunter. So it's not even worth logging on to look. This guy is leveling out of his fucking mind. Congrats, little buddy. This character also has a level 4 Crisis M ring, which is interesting, I suppose. But that's the progress that I've been making on my mules on that front. And this is sort of the progress that I plan to make going into Shining Star Force. Anyways, I'll stop yapping. That's a fucking almost 20-minute video of me just talking about nothing. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like the video if you like it, subscribe, all that good shit, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye!